Xmind versus Mindnode, two great mind mapping tools compared side by side. First, I'll run through a quick overview of Xmind and Mindnode. Then we'll check out how long each tool has been around. We'll take a look at platform compatibility, integration, pricing, as well as free versions, and ease of use. You'll find links and timestamps in the description below this video in case you need a recap. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's start by looking at each mind mapping tool. Xmind comes in two flavors, Xmind 8 and Xmind 2020. The main difference between these two versions is that Xmind 8 is less flashy than Xmind 2020. Xmind 2020 has a more modern look with nicer templates. I talk more in depth about the differences between Xmind 8 and Xmind 2020 in this video. Mindnode also comes in two flavors, Mindnode and Mindnode Plus. Mindnode Plus is the paid version, and I'll get into that in a moment. But first, let's look at how long these mind mapping tools have been around. Xmind has been around for over a decade and has gone through various iterations from Xmind 7 through to Xmind 8 and Xmind 2020. They even had Xmind Zen for a while, but that ended up being merged with Xmind 2020. Xmind has had time to mature and it's a solid product. It even has its own page on Wikipedia. When it comes to Mindnode, Mindnode doesn't have its own Wikipedia page, but they do have a very cool releases page on their website, where they log every release and fixes or improvements. They also have an article on their blog where they explain Mindnode was around in 2008, and they note some of the different earlier releases, up to Mindnode 7. I also found a second article where they mentioned that Mindnode 8 is now called Mindnode 2021.1. We could do with one single history page where all these version releases can be seen. But anyway, the bottom line is that Mindnode has also been around for a while, so both mind mapping tools are mature. Now let's talk about platforms. Both Xmind and Mindnode are apps that run on your computer rather than on a browser like so many of the mind mapping tools out there. Both Xmind 8 and Xmind 2020 are cross-platform. They work in Windows, Mac, and Linux. There is also the Xmind app for mobile, which works on both Android and iOS. And the review score is a solid 4.8. Mindnode, on the other hand, works only on Mac. There is an app for iOS which works with Mindnode Plus. And the review score is also a solid 4.4. Now let's talk about integration. When it comes to integrations, Xmind integrates with Evernote. Here's the Xmind page that explains this. Seriously, a Google search for Xmind integration brings up various links to Xmind's site, all of which are embeds that explain very little. I do wonder if these embeds are actually meant for developers and not really for public consumption. A kind of roadmap. Either way, there isn't a page on the Xmind website that I can find where I can see all the integrations listed. Mindnode integrates with Ulysses, which is a productivity tool for writing. I found this out on the Ulysses site, and it's not clear whether it's Mindnode or Mindnode Plus that integrates with Ulysses. Like Xmind, Mindnode doesn't seem to have a page on their website that lists all the integrations. I did find one article on Mindnode's site talking about their integration with Things, the Apple app. And I do know that Mindnode Plus integrates with Apple's Task app, so you can turn your Mindnodes into tasks and mark them off as you go, which is pretty handy if you have an iPhone and you use tasks. Now let's talk about pricing. When it comes to pricing, both Xmind and Mindnode offer free versions. Actually, let me explain that point. Xmind offers an unlimited trial rather than a free version. Now, the unlimited trial never expires, but as you'd expect, it's limited in functionality. You can't do certain things like export to PDF, but I do have a workaround that in my Xmind training series. Either way, the bottom line is that the Xmind Unlimited trial is pretty generous, and you can create unlimited mind maps with it. Very good. Now, for the paid versions, Xmind 8 Pro costs $129. For that, you get lifelong use and the ability to use the software on two devices, PCs or Mac. Xmind 2020 costs $59.99 a year or $33.99 every 6 months. The free version of Mindnode also enables you to create unlimited mind maps, and the paid version, Mindnode Plus, costs $19.99 a year or $2.49 a month. Now let's talk about usability. The main difference between Xmind 8 and Xmind 2020 is that Xmind 8 looks more dated and Xmind 2020 has nicer graphics and templates. With Mindnode, the free version looks the same as the paid version, but the difference is that with the free version you don't get a few handy functions like connecting nodes with arrows, which is handy when you're creating flowcharts. And you also don't get to use any icons or stickers as Mindnode call them. Now, comparing the free version of Mindnode with the unlimited version of Xmind when it comes to ease of use, both tools work well. The main difference is that with Xmind you get quite a few visual graphics like icons, and those can really help to make your mind map nicer. But with the free version of Mindnode, you don't get any icons. That said, Mindnode's interface is quite modern, and the mind maps look good even without icons, whereas Xmind without the icons can look pretty basic, especially Xmind 8. Now, when it comes to the paid versions, you get all the functionality, of course, and with Xmind 2020, you get all the nice graphics and the cool templates. With Mindnode Plus, you also get all the extra functionality, but it's really only just a few extra functions that the free version doesn't have. The real strength of Mindnode Plus is in the integration with the Apple apps and in the fact that you get over 250 really nicely designed icons that you can use on your mind maps. Okay, let's wrap this up. For me, Mindnode has the edge on looks. Mindnode feels nicer to use, mostly because of the smart nodes that adjust themselves automatically as you type. Now, all my mapping tools have some type of adjusting property, otherwise all your nodes would be overlapping. But seeing the nodes adjust in real time really is a nice touch. It makes all the difference when you're working with a tool. Now, while Xmind doesn't have that nice little touch, it does have more stuff. It has Gantt charts and all kinds of structures, and it also gives you the ability to change the structure of your mind map. And that's a feature that I use quite a lot. Now, if you're going to go pro, then there's a significant difference in the price, with Xmind 8 costing $129 or Xmind 2020 costing $59 a year, as opposed to the cost of Mindnode Plus, which is $19.99 a year. If you work on Windows or Linux and you need Gantt charts or all kinds of structures, then Xmind is the clear winner. If on the other hand you work on a Mac and you just want to create appealing mind maps, then Mindnode Plus may be a better option. And if you happen to use an iPhone and the Things app and Tasks app, then Mindnode is probably a no-brainer because of the integration. At the end of the day, it's going to be a personal choice. So remember that you can download Xmind and Mindnode for free just to try them out. Let me know in the comments which one is better for you and why. And join me on my quest to find the best mind mapping tool. Sub, and I'll see you in the next video.